Welcome back to Cooking with Chef Eric. I am Chef Eric. Today we have a great show for you. We're going to be doing a cashew crusted duck breast with rutabaga, kohlrabi, and black cherry sauce. It's going to be great. Stay tuned. So now we're about to start with this duck breast, this bristle. So we're going to take this out, take off a little excess moisture on this thing right here. So what we want to do is make sure the skin is nice and dry. All the extra moisture is only going to help make our skin soggy. We don't want that. Next, after we do this, we're going to score it. And the reason we score it is to help it render better. Because this duck breast has this fatty skin. Have you ever been into a piece of chicken thigh that was fried, they didn't clean it properly, and then you bite into a mouthful of fat that didn't render? You don't want that. That's what this duck breast will be like if it doesn't render properly. So now what we're going to do is we're going to score the breast. Notice how I'm cutting it, but I'm not cutting into the skin. Cut through the skin, but not cutting into the meat. Score the fat in the skin, not the meat. Now that that's done, we're going to salt it. The salt is going to help draw out the rest of the moisture. As the moisture comes out, so will the fat. And before we start actually cooking this, we are going to render the fat off the skin. So we'll put this into our pan cold, skin down. So the reason we put this in the pan cold is because we don't want it hot because it's going to sear the fat, some of the fat in. So I'm going to turn this on low heat. But we'll slowly render the fat out of this chicken skin before we actually cook it. That's going to take a minute, so just be patient with that, okay? Okay, so don't rush this part because the harder this cooks, the less fat is going to render, and the more you're going to cook the actual meat. We're not trying to cook the meat, we're trying to just render the fat out of the skin. So we're going to turn this down even lower, because this is going a little bit too fast for me. That's as low as it can go, so we're going to take our time. That's the point of having it in the cold pan to start with. So it takes a little bit longer to heat up, and as the pan heats up, the fat starts to render out of the breast, and the skin of the breast, and so that way you're not actually cooking the meat itself. Okay, so now we're going to make our black cherry sweet and sour sauce. So for this, we got our black cherry juice, our red wine vinegar, our red chili flakes, some brown sugar, some ginger, some scallions, and some native vanilla bean powder. For sure. So now we're gonna clean our ginger, trusty spoon. This is the fastest, easiest way to peel the ginger without actually wasting any ginger. Now mind you, we're just gonna cut it in slices and we're gonna strain it out. We're not actually gonna puree the sauce. We're just gonna reduce everything in it, strain it out, and once it gets thick enough, it'll be just fine. So now for this, nothing too thick, not too thin, just a nice slice. So now for this, we're just going to take off the heads. And we are going to use the whites because it has more flavor than the greens. The greens are for decoration. The whites are for actual flavor, right? So that's what we're going to put in our sauce now, right? Okay, so follow me. We got a pot. We got our ginger. We got our green onion. The whites of the green onion. Now we're gonna put our black cherry juice in. Give good pops, make sure you break the seal. Stir it up, make sure we got no residuals. We put this on medium-high heat. Add our vinegar. Our brown sugar. Chili flake. And just a pinch of our native vanilla bean powder. This is the whole bean that's ground up. And it gives a different kind of flavor, very aromatic. Using it just a pinch of this stuff. Now we're just gonna let that reduce and do its magical thing. And once it gets the right consistency, we're gonna strain it out, and that's gonna be that. Okay, so we're checking on our duck now. So notice how the skin isn't seared at all. There's no color. The fat is just, you can look in the pan and see the fat's coming off. That's what you want, okay? Because the duck, look, see, the duck isn't actually cooking itself, see? You know what I'm saying? Of course, right the line where the skin is gonna have a little color, but if you look at the duck itself, it's raw, okay? That's what you want. You don't want to cook the duck. Of course, a little line where the skin meets the flesh is gonna have a little color there, of course, but you don't want it to actually cook the duck, okay? You try to just get that fat off. You see the fat pulling? That's what you want. You want the fat to run off the skin. The longer and slower you can get that going, the more fat you can get off, the crispier the skin of your duck's gonna be. Now I know I told you we were gonna crust this with cashews. That comes later. That comes later. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to get the fat out of the skin first, or else it's just gonna be a chewy mess, and you don't want that. So we're gonna get the fat out of the skin first, and get it par rendered, and then we're gonna come back, crust it with the cashew crust, sear it off and finish it, and roast it in the oven. It's gonna be mwah! For sure. So now we're gonna make this cashew crust. We got our cashews. I'm trying to mess doing this. Okay, so we got our cashews, and we got our mixes, seasoned medley. This is black pepper, this is garlic salt, this is cilantro, dried cilantro. I'm just gonna put that in there, and a pinch of onion powder also. Now, we're gonna do what it do. My handy dandy ninja, my ninja, if you heard. Put it on in, turn it on, sit it, pulse a little bit. Take it out, shake it up. We're gonna do it one more time. And now into this bowl. Just make sure we got what we want. We're gonna bake it up. You don't wanna grind it too much, you're gonna start making cashew butter, and that's not what we want. And now that that's what we're gonna do is we're gonna take it to our sifter and sift it out into our baking tray. Woo! That smells good. Okay, give that a little stir, make sure it's coming down. Okay, we're just gonna reduce that down, let the flavor simmer. You know what I'm saying? We want it like all that flavor in there to come up, like some pot liquor. You know what I'm talking about? Take some time, you know what I'm saying? Just simmer on down like some pot liquor. And when we're done, it's gonna taste great. Now, we're here though, we got our cashew. What we want to do is try to make sure it's nice and fine. So we're just gonna press it through. So you don't want to puree this too much, because if you do, it's gonna start making some cashew butter. This way, when we crust our duck, it's nice and fine and grated. See what I'm talking about? Success. Okay, so now you see how all this fat's pulling? That's only gonna slow down the process of it rendering out. So we're gonna dump it into this cup. Hold on. Stay with me, buddy. Stay with me. Okay, there we go. So now the drier the pan is easier it is to render more fat out. You see, as you see, the duck itself doesn't, we don't want the duck itself to cook. Hold on, come here, you. Why are you being difficult? Sometimes it be like that, right? It's playing with me. Get out, 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 get out. Okay. So. Except the duck itself is still not cooked. The skin is. It's okay with this, that size a little denatured, but you can see that it's not actually cooking. So we're good. Let's keep it going low and slow. So now we are going to do our rutabaga puree. Nice and simple. Nice and simple. So we're going to take out the ends and the rind of our rutabaga. It's nice and waxy. It's a beautiful thing. But we ain't going to eat that part. Don't mind that. That is not the fire alarm. That's the oven coming up to temperature. We put batteries on fire alarms around here. So now we're just gonna dice this up. Trying to figure out which way I want to do it. You can do any way you want to, really, because we're just gonna chunk it. Doesn't need to be too small, because if it's too small, when you puree it, it's just gonna be runny. It's not having any texture to it. If it's too big, you cut it unevenly, it's not gonna cook right. It's, you know, you just want nice even chunks, but they don't need to be too small for this, right? So when you puree, you want some texture to it. So now, we got our chunks, we got our half and half, cream of the crop, and we're just gonna rinse it out. H2O, perfect. Got your salt, pink Himalayan. And we're going to put this on medium high heat. Let it simmer. Okay, so now we're gonna do our vegetable medley. Our vegetable medley is gonna be this bok choy, this eggplant, but we're just gonna use the skin of the eggplant. I know I cheated, I got the shredded carrots, but yes, we use the shredded carrots, or a little bit of this banana pepper, and some garlic, okay? So now for this, we'll cut the bottom, discard that part, right? Then we're gonna take this, we're gonna cut this part separately from the leaves. So now for this part, the leaves, we're gonna take this, we're gonna line them all up like so, right? No, we're not gonna shift nine, but we're going to julienne it in just such a way. And this way it makes it easier to do. So now, we'll get a nice little roll. It's kind of like shift nine, but we're not trying to cut it thin into ribbons. Okay, you don't want to cut it too thin because it's gonna work too fast, right? Okay. Now what we're gonna do, take that, put it in here. Now, for this part, nice little julienne. Once we cut it over, we'll give it a nice little rinse, okay? And then let's cut it, give it a nice little rinse, let it drain, and we'll be on with that. That'll be nice and done. So now we're gonna do this eggplant. Please don't get too excited about this. Take these parts off. I just do that so I can get a clean cut on the top so I don't waste too much, right? Now what we're gonna do is take just the rind off of this. For this part. Now, I know what you're thinking, you don't wanna waste this beautiful eggplant doing that, right? So what I'm going to do is add this to a rutabaga puree to add a little more texture to it. So no parts are wasted, right? We want that all that for our actual stir fry because, or excuse me, our sauteed medley, because all it's gonna do is make it soggy. That's why I cut it on the inside to begin with. See how much more difficult it is to cut this way? Now, that is all ready to go. So, now we're gonna do some more garlic. And for this, I just rub it. You can smash it if you want. I don't care. But this little slices. Nice and thin. No worries, right? So now we're gonna get this banana pepper. Nice and easy, right? And that's that. Okay. So this is the texture we want. That's what we're looking for right there. A nice nappe, as the French would say. Means it would coat a spoon. That's what we're looking for. And when I say nappe, this is what I mean. See how it coats the spoon? That's the texture we're looking for. Okay, here we go. That black gold, baby. Black gold. So now that our rutabaga is cooked, I'm going to use my trusty Wolfgang Puck Burr mixer, also known as a submersion blender, to mash this up real quick. Now that our duck is rendered, I turned it up a little bit to sear it off a little bit to get a little, start getting just a touch crispy. And now we're going to crust it. Okay, so we'll add just a touch of this duck fat back in to this pan. Now the pan's nice and hot. You hear it sizzling. And what we're going to do is put it back in, skin side down. All right. Now the oven is set at 375. Got that nice little sizzle going. We're gonna finish it off in the oven. So now we're gonna get to our sauteing our vegetable medley. So that duck fat that we strained off, we're gonna start with a little bit of that. Our pan's nice and hot, right? Now we're gonna put in just a touch coconut oil and just a dab of sesame oil. Not too much, because the sesame oil will take away the flavor of everything, okay? So now that we got that going, we're gonna add our garlic and our banana pepper. See that's happening right there. See that's beautiful right there. See that? That's magical right there, right? Okay. Now for our carrot. Saute come in, just quick rapid movements. Now I know you're wondering when we add the salt. So because we're going to hit it with the coconut aminos, which is a great soy-free option for this type of situation, this is going to add our salt for us, okay? So don't worry about the adding of salt now, because this is going to add enough salt for us, and I trust you, trust me, it's going to be flavorful, okay? So all we do is flavor, okay? So now we're going to add in the bok, at least the crispy parts of the bok, right? And some more eggplant. more minute. We add in our leafy parts to the bottom. So I cut too fine. Also, we will, however, hit this with a touch of pepper, just a slight bit, because we need to add. Let's check on this duck. Looking beautiful. Now all we're gonna do is just turn it. Got that beautiful crust on it. Put it right back in. So now we're gonna put the greens in. We'll hit some coconut aminos. Alright, so it's too tight. So let's be real with that, right? And that's what you want. Great. Look at the crisp. Okay, so now we're gonna take this thing out. I'm gonna take it out of the pan because we want it to rest. It's a nice beautiful crust we got on it tonight. You can feel that. See how it's popping back? That right there is a nice little medium rare. By the time it carries over and cools and we flash it again, it's gonna be medium. That's what you want it at. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to push this through a strainer just to make it fine, because it is a puree, not a mash. So we just want to make sure we get all the imperfections out. And this will give it a better mouthfeel, right? We're almost there. So now we'll go back in the oven for the duck just to flash it, bring it up to the top. Perfect. And so that is our dish of the day, our cashew crusted duck, rutabaga puree, our sauteed vegetable manly with cherry sweet and sour sauce. Let's do this. Yeah. Beautiful. Shout out to Pal. We're here, right here in Charlotte, 114 Nelson Avenue. Come check us out. Home church. Love y'all. Stay blessed.